This is my Maxi Trac compressor that I bought last year. It's worked great for me so far. I haven't had any issues with it. I've been using it quite a few times and it's not let me down. Now I did do the pressure switch mod and I added the newer fittings. I'll put a card up in the corner here to show you guys how to do that if you want to go check that out. There are a couple people in the Facebook group for these compressors and whatnot and around just kind of the overlanding clubs and overlanding Facebook groups. They're starting to have failures. So I went out and bought a different compressor, partially to test to see if there was any improvements to be made on this, but also I felt that it might be an opportunity to have replacement parts for the Maxi Trac compressor if it ever failed on me. So this is the stop and go compressor. I actually find it pretty comical that the handle is bent in the packaging picture. I find that hilarious. So I thought a fun video would be to take this out, tear it down, and see if it's actually a viable replacement, and check if some of the measurements match up with the Maxi Trac compressor. So it does still have the Chinesium fittings on it, which we can easily fix that. And I kind of knew that from the pictures, but first glance it is a little bit different. First and most obvious to me is the smell. This thing reeks of cigarette smoke. So apparently the factory they built this in is definitely in the smoking section. I do think that it's kind of funny that the handle is not bent as it was in the picture. I did have a busted, cracked cap when I got it out of the bag, but it's a clip-on style cap here and not a screw-on type like the Maxi Trac. But heads seem to be a different cast entirely. They're not the same shape as the Maxi Trac. Obviously, the color scheme is widely different, but for the most part the side caps and everything kind of seem to be the same. But what I want to know is what's under here. So if you guys remember back to the other Maxi Trac video, the compressor's got a control board and a couple relays and whatnot under the cover here. This one, on the other hand, don't know yet. Look at that. That's a lot different than the Maxi Trac, because the Maxi Trac had a big old board in here and this is a big old fat relay. Goodness. I cannot get over how bad this thing stinks. It's almost off-putting for sure. Let's get these heads off and we'll see what's under the hood. Alright, here we go. Yeah, head design looks pretty similar. Got one big hole going in. Looks pretty similar to me. 200 amp relay. Holy cow. So it looks like you got power coming in from the jumper cables into the relay. And then we've got a power to the relay, power out to the power switch, and then a blue wire that goes down inside of there, which I can only assume is probably for the thermistor. So here's the heads, I guess. O-ring, little reed valves, same reinforcement there for the back, O-rings for the exhaust side, so if there is pressure in the tube here, it pushes against the O-rings just like the Maxi Trac compressor. They look identical to the Maxi Trac heads, so yay for replacement parts if that one ever dies. Let's get this guy torn down a little bit. That's no good. There's a whole bunch of, I don't know if it's manufacturing debris. I don't know if you guys can see that. I've got, I believe, aluminum glitter all over the freaking place. Yikes. Now mind you, I have not even run this one yet. I haven't even plugged this in or turned it on. But I don't know if that's going to be overexposed or not. Thankfully it is all oily, so I guess that's some sort of consolation, but geez. So one thing I do notice is that these are one monolithic piece. The pistons are one piece. They're not the screw like the Maxi Trac is. So you know, maybe Nate, Dirt Lifestyle, you get this compressor here, you can actually drill into this to add your third reed without too much hassle. You don't need to worry about the bolt. Now I don't want to immortalize the Napa compressor because it's quite literally coming out of the same factories that these are. So really all Napa did was copy the you know, the compressor that King's was putting out over in Australia and in it orange. So you can find these in virtually any flavor, green, red, yellow, all over the internet, and they're pretty much the same thing. It just depends on which vendor decided to, you know, go with, you know, spec out the standard 1/4 inch, you know, universal fittings, or if they just left these, you know, crap Chinesium fittings on here or not. For the money and what we've kind of found, this compressor has components in here that will keep the Maxi Trac compressor running. So far I kind of like the one piece monolithic piece pistons in this versus the two piece in the other one. So I don't know if that really makes a huge difference, other than kind of for modifying, or at least for longevity. It seems that it would last longer because there's just less pieces. But at the time of this recording, this unit is about $150 on eBay. I'll put a link to the store that I bought this from. Just some random eBay account that apparently bought a whole bunch of these, and they're selling them for pretty cheap on eBay. I don't know how this compares to the like Thors Lightning, or I think I saw is an SSR one or the Morrflate one. I don't know how these compare. What I can tell you is that I think they're all pretty much the same. So some things to look for as far as compressors. I'd like to see a single relay that is replaceable if that ever fails. This is 200 amp. The compressor is only rated at 90 amps, so I don't foresee that being an issue. Pressure switch, this one does not come with one. I really like the pressure switch modification they did on mine. I'll put a link to that video up here in the card, so that you guys can go check that video out if you have a compressor like this and want to add it. So the Morrflate does come with pressure switch, and it comes with standard airline fittings, so that's a huge plus. I don't know about the board in here, or the relay. I'm not quite sure if they've upgraded that. I haven't torn one down myself. Tyler, if you're watching, what's up? If you guys want a no hassle, you know, built compressor off the hop, I think Morrflate's probably the way to go as far as what's out there right now. If you're cost conscious and you don't mind doing a little bit of DIY work, this one is a pretty solid option as well. I think I'd probably just want to tear it down and really double check it. You can head over to Dirt Lifestyle. Nate has a currently 3 video series of modifications to these compressors, and I think he's done a killer job at really pushing the limits of what these compressors are capable of. And if anybody's gonna do it, Nate's the guy. He's definitely got the ideas and the abilities to make it happen. So at the very least, I feel like I owe it to you guys to at least test this compressor and also pump up my flat tire. That was actually not staged at all. That was 100% my flat tire this morning, and I thought, you know what, let's finally do a video on this compressor that I've had for 2 or 3 months now. So let's go take this compressor over to my flat tire and figure out why it's flat, and let's get this thing pumped back up. All right, found my leak right here. I got a nail in the tire. Yeah. There, bubble there, getting bigger and bigger. And nail crossways up in there. Now, traditionally, I've used the big rubber goopy torrential looking arms and shoved it in there, and I just found these kind of gimmicky looking screws recently, and I thought, man, you know what, most of the time what I'm getting on road is screws and nails and not a big old gaping hole like you'd find on the trail. So I think those torrential leg longer sticky ones are much better for off-road bigger holes, but these little screws are kind of cool in that they've got a little bit of goop on them. So essentially all I got to do is find the hole and screw it in. And essentially that screw is going to fill the hole, and that goop is going to kind of help seal, and we're just going to go below the tread and pump it up now and see if it's not leaking anymore. Power. All right, there we go. Compressor's hooked up to the flat tire, up to the car. I'll turn the car on, and we'll get this thing pumped up. We're pumping. What's up, Lep? Yeah, 40 PSI. Whew, it is windy out there. So, final thoughts. Stop and just go buy one. For 150 bucks, you can't go wrong. Plus, if you already got the Maxi Trac compressor, it seems as though the heads and the pistons will swap over, even probably the motor, being that all of these are pretty much the same. Something I would do to this is add a pressure switch. Super easy. I've got a video for that. I've already linked it twice in this video. Go watch that real quick. It's super easy. It's a long video, sorry, but I felt I'd be better served to be thorough than to just gloss over everything and then live out my days answering questions in the comment section. So this is a good option. It's got some junk fittings on it, but we can fix that. Otherwise, if you don't want to mess with it and you don't want to deal with it, Morrflate is a good one. Thors Lightning has another one. There's several other vendors that make this style compressor. So just do your homework, figure out who's got the best one, look for one with the pressure switch and the proper fittings on it. You're good to go. So with that, thank you guys for watching. If you guys want any more content on the Colorado or some other overlanding type videos, I've got all that coming up soon. Appreciate it if you guys subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.